I keep telling y'all how anti-black these people are. They literally are doing some shameful, despicable things at Arlington Cemetery. Okay, let me say this again. We're talking about Arlington Cemetery. Yeah, what they're doing is black, Hispanic, and female service members are being erased from the history. For generations, Arlington Cemetery has stood as the final resting place for more than 400,000 American heroes, a sacred space honoring those who gave everything for the country. But now the cemetery's website has quietly removed key information, list of notable black and Hispanic service members, lesson plans about their contributions, and even maps marking their grave sites. Officials say this was done under the orders from Trump and Defense Secretary Peter Hegseth, part of a broader push to strip race and gender-related history from military records. Some of these erased names belong to Medal of Honor recipients, men who were denied recognition in their time because of racism, only to be honored decades later. And now their stories are vanishing once again. This black erasure, this is what this is all about, Matt. It's black erasure. They're trying to get rid of the environmental justice departments and the EPA. They're trying to get rid of these things in the Department of Education. They want black erasure. All throughout the federal government, this is an absolute all-out attack on blackness. And I keep saying it, where are these Negro Republicans? Senator Tim Scott, quiet. Congressman Byron Donalds, Congressman Wesley Hunt, Congressman Burgess Owens. They're all real quiet.
Yeah, and they kissed every part of that orange butt and don't have any positions in the administration. So, you know, clearly that didn't work out for them on the personal level, which is all that governs most of those people's actions. But this is, you're exactly right. This is about black erasure. And what this is about black erasure coded as a meritocracy argument. Because you notice Linda McMahon didn't say a single word about legacy admissions, right? They didn't say a single word about that. It's about anything that looks like a black person is getting a leg up that some white person is not getting. We're seeing that everywhere. And one of the things I thought was pretty just weak is all of these people who kind of prophylactically have said, well, we know Trump's coming for us, so we're going to go ahead and start changing our DEI or changing how we approach things. But, you know, even with the Air Force Academy, or not the Academy, but the Air Force training in San Antonio, they weren't going to teach people about the Tuskegee Airmen because they're afraid that they're going to get in trouble from the Trump administration. I mean, we've reached a level of absurdity that is just unfathomable. But I'm glad you called it what it is, because what we see is a lot of dog whistling. But we know that the truth is that it's about black erasure, and it's about making black less than in all metrics, by all metrics, and in all contexts. Because what they keep saying is merit, 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 but they're making, you know, non-meritorious synonymous with black for the exact point of that black erasure. So I think you're exactly right. And none of this is surprising because we're seeing it across the federal government.
That is all anti-black, Derek, pure and simple. And that's what they keep attacking. And they don't want folk to know history. This is what they want. This is what they desire. And it's real clear.
And it's real clear, but it's also sad to a level of degree. This hits me personally, Roland. As you know, I'm a retired naval officer, and my first wife that served as well for 27 years is buried in Arlington. She gave her life for 27 years. Okay. And so when you think about this erasure, you can't delete the contribution in the history of Black Americans. Right. But this other sad part to this has precipitated down to the state levels. We have a bill right now that we're fighting in Georgia where it says, get this rolling, it says remove slavery, lynching, all that stuff from the curriculum from K through 12. But then there's this and. It says and contributions. So now you don't even want the mentions of Madam C.J. Walker contributions, Ida B. Wells contribution, Thurgood Marshall contributions. So it's one thing to try to eradicate the hatred and the pain of the past, but you also don't want to include the contributions. So what will we look like 10 to 15 years from now? Will we even have mention of Dr. Martin Luther King and Coretta Scott King? Or will we even have mention of the Tuskegee Airmen in the curriculum? And so that's the reason why we got to reject this and we got to fight back, because the future is not only counting on us, Roland, but we also got to deal with this in the present, because as much whitewashing they want to do, they can't, because that which is cemented is our history, because Black history is America's history.
Well, what they want, Michael, is they want whiteness to rule, pure and simple. That's what it boils down to. There's no other way to explain this.
Yeah, it's white nationalism, white Christian nationalism. This is all laid out in Project 2025. When you read Project 2025, you don't have to read all 922 pages. Just read one chapter. The attack on diversity, equity, and inclusion is all throughout Project 2025, DEI. And for all you dumbasses out there, they keep saying Black people only got 4% of the DEI jobs. You have no fucking clue about what's taking place. OK, this is a total backlash to the racial reckoning that took place in this country after the death of George Floyd. That's why they're going back, eradicating all the progress made, not just the last 4 years, but also going back to the 1960s. This is why on day 1 or 2, Donald Trump rescinded Executive Order 11246, which is affirmative action. As racist as Ronald Reagan was, he didn't even do that. So when you look at the attack on the Department of Education, Linda McMahon said that Donald Trump's mandate is to shut down the Department of Education. Well, the Department of Education was created by Congress in 1979, signing the law by President Jimmy Carter. And one of the things that it was doing was enforcing the civil rights of students. And it was going after the segregation academies that developed after Brown versus Board of Education. And it was really picking up the fight that the IRS was doing as well. This is one of the reasons why the right wing are attacking the IRS. You got to go back and study this history. And the religious right movement was formed right around 1979 by Paul Weyrich, who co-founded the Heritage Foundation, and Jerry Falwell. And what they did was they redirected all the anger that white Southerners had when it came to fighting against desegregation of the schools. They redirected that into the anti-abortion movement. This is how all this stuff comes together. So this is real. This is what we warn people about. And lastly, the Associated Press has this piece. The first thing that you talked about the images being removed, there's 26,000 images that the Pentagon is removing. It's a purge taking place. War heroes and military first among 26,000 images flagged for removal in Pentagon's DEI purge. They're playing for keeps. This is white nationalism. So we gotta figure out, okay, so what are we gonna do? Are we gonna fight back, or are we gonna be punks? This is the time to put up or shut up.
Yep.
Well, this is why we make it perfectly clear what is happening before our very eyes.
Here at Sage and Elm, it's a plant thing. Everything is made by hand from plants, from our salves to our soaps, our lotions, our oils. Come shop our over 400 products made by hand from plants just for you, because you deserve the best.
Did you know that the Washington Monument is based upon an ancient African structure called a tekken that comes from the mythology of Asar, Arset, and Heru, who the Greeks called Osiris, Isis, and Horus? Did you know that the panther deity Bast in the movie Black Panther and Wakanda Forever comes from an ancient African deity, a neter in ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet, called Bastet? Did you know that there were 17 pyramids found buried underneath Egypt around 2011? Also, the city of Memphis, Tennessee. What's the relationship between Memphis, Tennessee and Memphis in ancient Egypt? I'm historian and national political commentator Michael Imhotep. Be sure to register for my new 12-week online history course, Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Ma'afa, Understanding the Transatlantic Slave Trade, what they didn't teach you in school. Kemet is one of the original names for Egypt. We deal with thousands of years of history and what leads up to the transatlantic slave trade taking place. Did you know that the word Wakanda is a real word? We find it in the Kikongo language, which is a Bantu language, but we also find it in the Omaha Ponca and Sioux Indian Native American languages. My class starts up Saturday, March 1st, 2025, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a 12-week online history course. We do the sessions live. All the sessions are archived and recorded. We do with thousands of years of history and what leads up to the transatlantic slave trade taking place. When we talk about the transatlantic slave trade, we can't start our studying of the history in 1619 in Hampton, Virginia, or in Jamestown. We can't start in 1441 with the transatlantic slave trade starting with the Portuguese. We have to deal with thousands of years of history that leads up to the transatlantic slave trade taking place. We'll deal with the 800-year occupation of Europe by the Africans known as the Moors, who take the teachings from the Nile Valley region of Africa into Europe, and this is what brings Europe out of the Dark Ages.
Is your child struggling with reading, writing, learning loss, and a culturally irrelevant curriculum? Do you want your child to be outstanding at reading and writing and also take pride in their culture? Then you want Reading Revolution Online. Reading Revolution Online is a web-based reading support program. We serve scholars in grades K through 8, and through our innovative approach, we help them build reading confidence and cultural identity development, equipping them for success in school and life. They learn about Black heroes and sheroes through captioned videos, reading selections, and other activities. Reading Revolution Online is an experience for the whole family. Do it for the culture. Go to Reading